It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Benno Ben Tzion Raisch. We're here in your beautiful home in Yerushalayim in Jerusalem.
Thank you.
And Benno, you must be one of the youngest, nearly 93, Canaan Horror. Amazing. But can you tell us a little bit about where you were born, and when you were born?
I was born in Chernowitz. Chernowitz, I don't know if you know what it is or where it is. Chernowitz is, today it's Ukrainian, and it was Romanian as I was born. And as my parents were born, it was Austria. So it was from different places.
And Ben Tzion, did you come from a very religious family?
Religious, yes, but not as today. Religious. It's a normal family,
לא כמו היום החרדים. הנה, פה יש לי, פה אתה מעט בצבא.
That's me in the army.
Well, we're going to have a look. But what do you remember from growing up? What do you remember about your town?
What I remember that we came to our ghetto, and it was, we were sent to another place where nobody comes back from this place where we were sent, but we couldn't go as others were because I was without my father. My father came to Israel at 38, beginning of 39. He came to Israel. So I was with my brother. I had a younger brother, but without a father. My mother carried my brother on her arms, and I was go all the way by feet, and it was till we came to the ghetto. It was about autumn. During the day, it was wet. At the evening, there was we couldn't go. It was very how to say on the as the water it become slippery, yes, slippery, very slippery, and so we slipped into into a ghetto.
And you went with your mother and your brother?
Yes, my brother was 1 day there. After that, he on the arms of my mother, he passed away, and she hadn't what to do with him. And there wasn't graves for everything. It was a mass graves. There are still today mass graves. I don't know where he is and what he is. We went to, we made a trip from Kiev to Chernowitz, And we went all the way. We saw the places where we go, but where we went, but I couldn't know where he is.
Can I ask, do you remember going to Cheder in Chernowitz?
Cheder, no, one day I was in Cheder because I came to Cheder. I was a very quiet boy, and I came to Cheder. It was far enough from our place, and I was there. My father brought me into the Cheder, and after that, the Melamed fell asleep. Let I do voice, and he fell asleep. And all the boys there, they were quarreling and crying, and I saw what I had seen what was going on there, and I went home. And it was unbelievable, as my father couldn't believe that I come such a long way from the Cheder to our house where we lived. And that was a single day that I was at the Cheder. More I haven't been in the Cheder. All my study in the Jewish study was as I came to Haifa. At Haifa there was then the Jewish life were either the German that came before or Gur, Hasidei Gur, and I went to Talmud Torah with Hasidei Gur, and there I started. I was 14, at 46 I was 14, and I started at the second grade. I mean, it's very basic, as I didn't know a word in Hebrew. I knew nothing.
Can I ask, Ben Tzion, why did your father leave your mother and you and your brother?
Because he had a
grocery.
Makolet.
A grocery.
Grocery, yes. A grocery. And he stood there at the door, also the door outside. And Romanian hooligans, Romanian...
נו, אז כבר ביקש עם גרמניה.
מה?
כבר אונסקו, זה היה כבר קשר עם גרמניה.
כן, אבל אחר כך הם ירדו מהשלטון, זה היה, אבל על כל פנים אז הם היו בשלטון, and also the hooligans, they shouted to him, Maijidan. Maijidan is like, shoo, we are coming to kill you. And he came, our living was close to the grocery, and he came in and said, there is no place here more for Jews. We shall leave. It was at the beginning of 38. my brother was then, as he left, he was 3 months. And I was 38, about 6. And he said that he goes to Israel. It wasn't so easy.
Prepare a place for his family.
To search for where to come and how to come. And then at 1940, the Russian came in and everything was cut and no more connection, or almost no connection. Because with the Russian, there were no connection between the lands. So that we couldn't continue. And so we went a year later, the German with the Romanian came in and they sent us to Transnistria. Transnistria was about the Dniester in the Ukrainian. And there we had a very long story. It's not for to tell you so short. In any case, we were in a very bad shape, so that we couldn't do better than we did. It was almost what we could do.
And your brother at this time, your brother had passed away?
He passed away. After one day that we come, he was hungry and he asked for soup or something, and there was nothing. And he passed away from hunger.
And you saw him?
I saw him, but what I could do nothing. The next day, I had another adventure. Since I took my mother, how shall I say it? Because she tried to live under the
No.
It's enough for one day.
No, it's so important.
Yes, she tried to go out to get something, and one of the Dobrovoltsis were the Ukrainian, one of the Ukrainians that kept
They joined the Germans.
the Ukrainian that joined the German. He, with his boots, he just, and she was with blood, and they took her in again, and it was difficult. After that, my job was to get something to eat, and so we lived there. Now I can tell you in Hebrew, but in English.
How long did you stay there?
3 more years, more than 3 years.
Till 44.
Till 44?
44, the Russian delivered us. We were הכי מזרחה.
Yes, there were nisim all the time.
Miracles.
Miracles, yes. Miracles all the time. Even by the clearing of the camp, it should be that the Nazis, as they withdraw, they finished with all the Jews. Their job was a group of Nazis. I don't know how big it was, but a group of Nazis. Their job was to finish with the Jews. No Jews should, but they were under at the woods there. They were caught, and the partisans, they finished with those Nazis, and so we could then leave. And we left to Moldova and we went back to Romania. I was 1 year in Romania. Meantime, the father here, he worked out certificates, so I came legal to Haifa. I came legal because during the mandat I came legal because my father was here and he sent us the certificates to come.
And your mother, did she manage
She came with me
And how old were you when you came to Israel?
to Israel. I was 14, over 14,
And this was after the war?
after the war, at 46, at the beginning of 46.
Can I ask, Binta, what do you remember when the war ended?
From the war,
When it ended?
I can remember different things. I can remember exactly what I did, that we had what to eat, how we eat, and I was between the Ukrainians there, and I had what I brought home different things from the and around from what was there. They knew me and I knew them. I knew them, and so we were. I had there. It was, for me, it was a good life because we had things to eat. Not much, but it was very good and enough. And
did you go back to Chernowitz?
please,
Did you go back to Chernowitz?
to Chernowitz, yes, but we were very short time in Chernowitz because we knew that we had to cross the border to leave Russian, and we went to Romania. So in Chernowitz we were only 2 or 3 months, and it was not.
Did you go back to your house? Did you, your home?
No house and home. As we came to our house, even now, as we came to our house, and they didn't let us in. It was. We didn't ask for a home. We didn't want to stay there. We knew that we shall go to our father. So this was what I told you now It's very shortly. Also, during all the
So
time.
when you went to Romania, where did you go in Romania?
This,
Where were you in Romania?
מה עשית ברומניה?
what I did in Romania,
Which town did you go to?
45 to 46, I was in Romania in an orphanat. Orphanat is
בית יתומים.
Orphanage.
אופנית.
yes,
In which city or which town?
Botoshan. I was in Botoshan.
And your mother, she was nearby?
She was a maid in Oseret somewhere. And we weren't together. We were separated.
But did you get to see her? Did she manage to come and see you?
Yes, as I had. At the beginning it was Jewish orphanat as I came there, but very shortly the Romanian changed the board and it can't be for Jews only. It should be international. Every boy can come in, and came in different boys. Let's say so.
And when you heard that you're going to see your father, that you're coming to Eretz Israel, did you go by boat? How did you come to Israel?
But yes, it was by boat, because then at that time, all the connections were always by boat. It couldn't be other way.
Do you remember the name of the boat?
Yes, sure, Transylvania. Later on, after after the Jewish state was here, the Transylvania sailed all the time. But I did come, as we did come, it was only for VIP.
And Tzion, can I ask, when you and your mother saw your father, it must have been very emotional, very, very special. It must have been a very unbelievable meeting.
Yes, after I was with my father between 6 and 14. 8 years I was without my father. As I came here, he was only a stranger for me. I know I could remember here and there something, but I couldn't know very well him.
And did you develop a good connection?
Yes,
It took time.
yes,
And your mother and your father?
yes. They continued their marriage.
And and they lived together till. And what happened to your relatives, to grandparents or?
My grandparents, father's, I saw him, the last time I saw him was at 41. 41, he was very old, he was already 91, and he passed away at 41. And the other was, I cannot remember him even now, because where I lived, who was there more active was my grandmother, and she brought me up to 4 years After 4 years, I came to Chernowitz, where my father and mother was. But till 4 years, I was brought up by my grandmother. I was the only one at home. There were no more. And I was very spoiled by her. Yes, it was very special.
And what happened to your grandmother? What happened to your grandmother?
הלכה לעולמה.
I don't know, but she passed away before my grandfather.
They passed away before
the war.
Before the war.
Before the war.
Yes, all my grandmothers and grandfathers passed away
Before the war.
For the war.
And do you remember any uncles or aunts? Any uncles or aunts?
Yes, I remember a little bit. I have here תני לי את התמונה של החתונה של אמא. Yes, I can remember almost all of them.
זה החתונה של אבא ואמא.
This is your parents?
My parents, yes.
This is their wedding. Wow.
אבא ואמא שלך בחתונה.
It's amazing that this picture survived.
Says no, it wasn't with us, it was at my cousin's house. My cousin had the picture, and from him I have a copy. We had nothing, no pictures, nothing. But my cousin is here, the oldest one, it's here. And he was, I don't know if
That's very good. Yeah.
if you can see it, but this is my oldest aunt. It's the mother's. My mother was the youngest home, and she was the oldest daughter. And
סבא וסבתא שלך.
לא, סבא וסבתא זה משהו אחר.
זה לא משהו.
סבתא וסבא.
That's your grandparents. Your
Yes.
on whose side? On your
This
the grandparents from your
from my mother.
from your mother's side. They were very religious. They were very.
And yes, they were religious, but all others here are not more any. Even my father here is not. My father, my mother. My mother wasn't. Didn't cover her hair. He did it. She did it here, but at Chernowitz, she didn't cover her hair.
And Tzion, who else do you know in the picture?
Please.
Who else do you recognize in the picture, or do you know in the picture? Who else can you tell in the
Who
picture?
are they?
Yeah.
They are my cousins, my aunts, 1, 2, and this is my uncle. It's his father, and he is his brother, 2 brothers married 2 sisters. So that they are here, both of them. Yes. And it was at the morning after the wedding came the the photographer, and he photographed. It wasn't so. It was at 1930. Yes.
And where were they married? Were they married in Chernowitz?
They were at the beginning. They were here with my grandpa.
It's a village near Chernowitz.
And then they went to Chernowitz, but I lived with a grandfather and grandmother.
Well, why didn't you stay with your parents?
At the beginning, they didn't have an apartment there. They were sleeping. He started with the grocery, and they lived there at the grocery, and it was after that they came to.
A little history without. No, please. Jewish people live in the peripheria, בכפרים, in villages, and it was very good for the elder people, but the young people had to seek after parnuse.
To get a living.
So they went to the Großstadt, Chernowitz, and they had to לסדר את עצמם.
To find themselves.
בדיוק, זהו זה.
But this picture is something, it's so unbelievable that you have this picture. Is this the only picture you have of your grandparents and your...
Yes, the only one.
And here's a picture when you came into the...
As I was in the army. That is our wedding.
And did your parents have more children after the war?
No, מה פתאום.
מה
פתאום.
So you were the only child?
Yes. No more. No, my cousin that I got from him is a picture. He was here in Haifa, and that is the only relatives that we had here. It was a big family, but here in Israel they were very small.
And Tzion, can I ask, when you went back, did you go back to Chernowitz?
Yes.
Twice we were.
And how does it look today? How is it? Do you remember when you went back? Did you remember?
Yes, I remember, but
He found his house.
You found the house?
Yes.
Did they let you go in?
No, they didn't let me go in.
Not again. They didn't let you go in.
No, and I found the tree where I spent a lot of my time on the tree. Tree, איך אומרים? אגוזים?
Nuts.
But it's not the nuts, almost. It's almost. It's nuts. Egosei melech. It means it was with the green, and it makes dark your hands, and so it was. I spent there very much on the tree.
And can I ask, did you remember the Beit Knesset? Was there a synagogue?
In Chernowitz, I can remember something, but I didn't go with my father very much to the to the synagogue. My father goes every time as he was a Balkoire, and he likes to read there in the synagogue, but I knew very little, and it wasn't. I did go very much with him.
And can I ask, your father, when you met him, did he remain frum? Did he remain? Was he still religious when you met your father?
My father was. He became here more religious than Chernowitz, and the same with my mother. As I told you, my mother didn't cover her hair there. It was, but here in Israel, in Haifa, there were either the Yekis or the Gerer Hasidim. Both of them covered the head, so she did it also.
And they always had emunah. They always kept the emunah.
Yes. Yes, they kept the emunah. Yes. I think that even with me, it's so that I'm today more religious than I was before.
מה פתאום, בנצי?
Wow,
מה קרה? אנחנו נשארנו מה שהיינו.
מה שהיינו.
אל תספר מה זה.
בסדר.
And how did you meet your lovely wife?
זה סיפור בשביל שבוע ימים.
But you've been married for Canon Horror.
Yes.
How many years have you been married?
Married since 1956.
And behind you, this was on your 90th birthday, Canon Horror, and the family's growing. And Tzion, can I ask you, it's just unbelievable. Your story is really nissim. It's miracles that you survived.
Yes, it was a lot. I can't, in English, overall I can't tell you, but even in Hebrew, it's the number of nissim that were, the miracles that were, is almost unbelievable. It was tens, hundreds of miracles at different places. Even that my father wasn't with us was a miracle, because we couldn't go so fast as all the other people, and and they shot everybody that, and I think that he saw us, but he saw a woman with two small children. He was probably, he thought that it is a shame of the bullet. He shouldn't shot us.
And was this a Romanian or a?
No, it was in Ukrainian.
In Ukrainian.
Yes, but
האזור של אוקראינה was a part of Romanian, and יחד, all of them, Ukrainian, Romanian,
German,
and German, they made the job together.
German gave Romanian.
Only the orders.
Huh?
The orders.
German gave the orders.
But the Ukrainians were very cruel as well. The Ukrainian
My father was killed by
the Ukrainian were worse than the Romanian and worse than the German. Ukrainian were very, very bad.
Very cruel.
Yeah,
זה שייך להיסטורי.
And Benson, when you see what's happening today, you're seeing what's happened in Gaza, and you've got grandchildren that are in the army. How do you feel that?
I feel that we live on miracles. We live all the time on miracles. We can't get how.
תקרא, את זה כתבתי כנראה במלחמת...
מה?
תקרא, מצאתי את הדפים בתוך זה, סתם כמה דפים, את זה כתבתי. לפני 30 שנה, מתי הם היו במלחמת לבנון, שני הבנים? תראה. דם נוטף מעמנו, ואין פוצה פה ומצפצף. מתי כבר לא נדע פצע וחבורה? אבינו שבשמיים, הבט משמיים וראה. אם יקרה, כל עין לך מצפה. בכי והתחנני לפני מרפא. סומך מפלים ומרפא חולים. כתבתי את זה, מתי זה היה? כשהם היו ב-40 שנה?
We live here all the time on miracles. Yes.
And Benson, what message do you give to your children and grandchildren?
That we live now at the optimized possible living. We shall not think about better living. I mean better in our feeling. We shall know that we live here with our possible doings and with our possible live. HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps us all the time to survive and to live together. We should think how close we have to be to our people, to our relatives, to our people, to our, and not what to get more than we have. We shouldn't have more. I mean, we have in both possible things mental, religious and physical. We have the both possible things today.
It's amazing. And thank God we got our own country. Thank God we have Eretz Israel.
Yes.
It's so important. It's so important. And we've got our soldiers, and you have many grandchildren that were in Gaza.
Yes.
But in the north.
Especially in the north.
So I want to just thank you, Tzion. I am so grateful to you. If I can just, and then we'll just show a few pictures of the wedding. Tzion, I just want to thank you so much. I am so grateful to you.
No problem.
It's been, there are no words to thank you enough.
Yes.
It's been so special. And Vincent, can you give a bracha? Because
yeah, sure. Be gebenched. לאורך ימים, שיהיה לך תמיד רק טוב ובשמחה, שלא תדע משום דבר שעברנו. פה ראינו רעה, והשם שומרנו, ושיציל לך גם כן, וישמורך, וישמור את כל זרעך. כל טוב.
Vincent, I'm so grateful to you. There are no words to thank you enough. And just to think that this is from your wedding, and look, you have such a beautiful family that you and your wife have have raised, and the pictures of the chasana.
Yes.
Your parents must have been very happy at the wedding. Your
Yes.
parents must have been.
Yes, here. לא ידעתי שיש לך את התמונה הזאת שרנה.
איזה תמונה יש?
It's wonderful.
את יודעת שאת התמונה הזאת תשתשו לך. בספר תשתשו את התמונה.
טוב, הרב.
את יודעת למה? כי
בטח, כי
הרב
הרב-
מסתכל פה בפני.
כן, הרב מוויז'ניץ נתן לנו חופה.
The Rebbe of Vishnitz.
Yes.
כן,
רב.
נתן לנו חופה וקידושים.
But it must have been so special.
אני לא חושבת שהרגשתי את זה, שזה so special. בכלל לא.
It's a beautiful. And to see you on your 90th birthday in Cannon Horror, there's more grandchildren have been born, and you should just have you and your wife Mazel and Brocha at May Vesrim.